Hello and welcome to the Sploder tutorial. This is on the physics creator, and on the previous parts we've been making this game here, making the custom backgrounds, which is a couple of parts ago. Just go to the playlist and find that. We also made this little maze game. If you want to find out how to make a 2D game like that, click on the previous episode annotation. Okay, so let's go to the 3D game as you've come to this. So I've already started by making a custom background. Now you don't have to make a custom background, but they do look really good. Okay, so a 3D game. Now this 3D game, now I have made a couple 3D games myself, so I'll show you a couple as an example. Alright, so here is an example of what I mean by 3D game. Now this is a 3D game I did make, my first ever game on Sploder, believe it or not, and I did get a contest winner of it. Is very basic. So here, the only thing different to how I'm going to show you, it hasn't got a custom background. This is, of course, the default. So as you can see, we've got a graphic standing in the middle of the block. Now this is a skill. It isn't what it all looks like. Of course, the 3D effect, maybe on this game needs adjusting a little bit, but as you can see, we've got the kind of 3D, the layer to it, and also what really does make this game even more epic is the 3D coin here. That really does change the game. Now, yes, this game and all my 3D games are basic like this. However, you can really advance it off a lot more. So let's show how to make it. Alright, so once again, back to this, we've got the custom background, and as you see at the moment, it's just clouds and sky. So we go to make kind of just a hopping game. So we're going to start at the bottom, hop to the platform, hop to the top where the coin is at the moment. So what you need to do is use a tool what does take a bit of practice. This is the free drawing polygon tool. So you could try your best to try and do like a parallelogram, big word there, but you're going to probably you need to try and size it so there's only 4 points selected like so, and you want them straight as well. So just adjust them to look straight, the graphics wise, and you want to make it into like a parallelogram with the same angles, because you don't want it to look like an odd shape. So that looks best like one at the moment. Of course, the more sharper angle you do, the more 3D effect you will have. Alright, so we've got kind of the platform where the player will stand. So I'm just going to make it a bit more flatter like so. Okay, so we will colour it later, but first of all, now we're just going to do the square bit, what will be the bottom of the platform here. And then also you want to draw the side bit, so be by the same angle as that. Now, of course, the drawing is very wonky there, and we end up with this very wonky shape. But it is easy once you've got the two sides in to just line up, hopefully get the same angles, and just like so get the same shape there. So we've got kind of a flat platform here. Now that could look alright. However, the only thing is, if we have the character now, in this case, if we have the character, so I'm going to have, we'll probably do Mario as an example. Or in fact, let's do me. Let's do the blue sun, because the good thing is, another effect to it, my character is actually a 3D graphic, so that's alright. So let's get my avatar in there. Okay, so we've got kind of like a 3D graphic. So it's alright saying that we've finished like that. Of course, adding the controls. It's alright saying we all like that. Oh, we forgot the wonky rule, guys. It's alright saying that we've got the platform made, and that's 3D. However, you have to remember that we had you know, people, you probably learn more than me. You learn from your mistakes, because we want that. So okay, so as you can see at the moment, we are standing on top of it. We don't want to stand on top of the platform. This is where the hidden skill comes. I'm just going to resize that. So behind these platforms, in this case, I'm going to do it a blue, just to be in the sky. So let's just get a blue background. Of course, you can experiment with the colors, do bigger effects on like that, and do where like the sun is shining. That's all right. Because it's always up to you for the colours. So we want to have it so our character sits in the middle, like on the game, so it looks like he's actually in a 3D world. So in this case, we're using the layers. So we're going to come off this, and just to save time, we're just going to duplicate this, and it doesn't matter what form this looks, but you want to hide it. In this case, this background will have to be the bottom layer. In this case, for this one, it will be the second to bottom layer. So it is behind all of these. So these ones you can make a higher layer. So they're above this. So this, make sure, if it depends if you duplicate, in this case we are, make sure the pass-through is turned off. You don't want it on. But in this case, as we want him to go through this, we have to turn this onto a pass-through like that. So now we go to cover this up. Now of course it will poke out the end. In this case you have to cover it up like that, so he will fall. Now that is another thing, you want to just make sure that this is always the top layer, as is your character. So as you can see now, he sits on now. As you can see, there is a little dot coming out there, but you can adjust that whenever you want. In this case, I'll just shorten it a little bit. Now of course you want to remember to have that running all the way through, because sometimes you may fall off like that. We don't want that to happen. So because it's just a bug in the game in this case. But as you can see now, we're walking across the platform of it. We'll get jammed. Of course, remember, there's a lot of tips. Remember to make these as well pass-through layers, and that's why you need all the support of that bottom middle bit. So now we can slide off and fall off. Now in this case, we're not going to have it, or we can have it an open playfield. Of course, playfield settings, in this case it's open, meaning when this character falls out, he will automatically end the game. That's because you're out of bounds. Now, that was a little mistake there, you won't be able to see it. Of course, we did forget to change his background to an all 4. Now, don't make the same mistakes, again, you learn from them. As you can see here, it will end the game. So we're going to have a little jumping game. Now, it is quite hard to duplicate these, so you have to try and remember to get everything together. So select everything as so, and then just drag. And let's have it so you jump up there and then jump back down. Okay, and of course, remember to just adjust everything. Now, of course, when you do duplicate, sometimes the layers do get a bit mixed up. So just test it with your character going like that. So as you can see now, we have a simple jumping exercise there. Now we're just going to create a coin. Of course, sometimes it's good to pick the correct coin, just so it looks good. In this case, we're going to try and use that coin what was on my previous game, that example. So it's going to be quite medium size. This one is going to be way above. And of course, we want a good coin graphic this time. And it may be sometimes just a case of going through many coins until you do get to that. And I think as it is, we'll use this one over in that one I used. And as you can see there, it looks 3D on the platform. So of course, to your own will, adjust it so it looks on the platform. And remember to set it on its settings where you score when you touch it. So in this case, it'd be like that. Of course, we haven't got the sensor layer on him as well, so it kind of teaches you to remember some of the steps. There is quite a lot of steps involved, but you get it in the end. So of course we did die here, but when your goals are set, it'll get where you wouldn't die. We're safe. We just have this one coin. We'll go on to goals, adjust the goals, so it's just 1 point where you need to get. We've got 1 life, although not really, and like so. We have it just 1 coin, and of course it does fall off there, but you could adjust that anywhere. So that is how you do make a 3D game, and you can choose to make 3D games as wacky as you want. There is some very good games out there. I do recommend a user called Jigglypuff. He makes absolute excellent 3D games. Of course, we can also change the shapes and stuff. You never need to do the fin. I've always done the fin platforms, but of course you never need to do the exact same as this tutorial. But this is how you make a better 3D game for those who have been asking a lot. Now of course there would be a fault of this, you could fall through, but again, if you do get high platforms, I've never actually had this problem myself, but if you do, you want to make kind of this invisible wall, as you call it, and we'll probably just make it down there, and well, it's very easy like so. So make sure you experiment with this out. The tutorials will be back very soon. I'm Oliver Eaton. also known as the Blue Sun. Here's how to make 3D games. Press the next or previous tutorials to get better skills. But until then, subscribe and like. It's Oliver out.